Hi, everyone. My name is Mauricio, and I'm the head of North America here at COR. Today, I'm going to give you a high level overview of the platform. We're going to see a lot of things today, but the main two things that I'd like you to get out of this call is COR's verticality and automation components. COR was founded by former professional services folks, and it's custom built for professional services. Our mission is to empower businesses like you to not lose money on a project ever again. Typically, what we see in this space is that because these industries are very reactive, that forces you to be very reactive as well, and kind of feels like as if you're flying blind. But with CORE, you're able to get that visibility into your capacity, into your time estimation, into your outputs, and into your projects so that you can make better business decisions and have an overall better workflow. So, in order for you to make those better business decisions, it's very important for you to have visibility into your operation. That's why we allow you to get visibility, 30,000 feet down and look at the entire workflow of your entire business and the effectiveness of that. So you're able to compare, one-shot projects, monthly retainers, time and materials type of work, and be able to look at their profitability or the outputs of those clients, for example. Let's say, and of course, this is dummy data. We're never going to be able to achieve most of the profitability here. But let's say the ABC client is your biggest client and your profitability is 3%. Then now you have those low hanging fruits and that data to tap into and say, all right, now I can proactively know what I can solve and make sure that I protect my cash flow, protect my operational efficiency for my team. Um, hopefully avoid that my team is overworked, feeling underpaid, feeling burnt out, and that they become an attrition risk and potentially have risks with your client because you undershot or underbid your project, so now you have to ask them for more money, or you risk pushing a deadline or something of that sort. That in both cases, it's a financial risk for you. So if you want to look at your business 30,000 feet down, you could do that. You could segment per client. You could, compare projects, or you can come on insights and look at, client specific reporting, project specific reporting, and even per person, per resource specific reporting. Something that is very common in professional services when you don't have enough visibility on your operation is understanding, what is that invisible line in the sand of capacity, right? So with a report like this or a report like this, you can have resource capacity, capacity planning, forecasting in real time and understand, all right, these are the available hours per resource. These are the estimated hours that it would take them to execute based on the tasks that they have assigned, and then the actual hours that they're taking to execute. Um, and then you could come here to capacity and look at your capacity in real time globally, right? So let's say in this example, you have 2,200 hours of capacity. Here, you could potentially take 2x to work, right? Bring in 2x projects. And then you can filter out by user or by team, and then have an example like this. So in this case, you have two problems. The first one is you clearly underbid or underestimated the amount of time that Mauricio was going to require to take to execute these tasks that he had assigned for this given month. The second problem is that not only you underbid, but he actually overworked himself for his capacity of that month. So knowing this information proactively as you work through your projects and even plan your capacity in the future is going to be very crucial to turn that reactiveness into proactiveness. Of course, we can dive deeper and stay in the entire call specifically on the outputs, but I'm not now going to move into the inputs, specifically the time component and the project management component that feed the outputs. So let's talk about time for a sec. Time is necessary in order for us to understand our workflow, or so that traffickers, project managers, account managers can really understand in real time what is the capacity that they have right now in their teams so that they can forecast better and they can make sure that the projects are executed well. The problem here is that time is a lagging indicator. People hate tracking time, they hate feeling controlled. So that's why we developed an algorithm that using artificial intelligence and machine learning can help you estimate time. So you can just come in here and accept all of the hours that COR is suggesting you. Of course, you can do it here, like in the tab here. Hey, Mauricio, what have you been working today? You can manually override this. You can delete this, and as you can see, it will um, automatically confirm the time. Or you can come in here and say, all right, these are my hours. These are the confirmed hours that I have. As you can see, there's no suggested time here. If I walk back in another week, I can see 6 hours. So I can click into this, and now just like that, time tracking is turned from a lagging to a leading indicator. And of course, you can manually override this, or look at your timesheet, per user, per team, per project, per client. The crucial thing here is that you want everything looking green. If it's red, the person hasn't, devoted the 8 hours that they are supposed to work. If they're devoted more than 10 hours, then you know that this person is overworked for that given day. And then we can track those tasks to the minute so that you can have a high level overview of, who is doing what. And then looking at your entire team, you can come in here and just start accepting those suggested hours from COR so that people don't need to worry about tracking time. The way that how it works, the algorithm is it uses artificial intelligence and machine learning, like I said, and it tracks the activity and the events that happen in the platform, the project manager that is assigned to the tasks, and also takes into consideration the specific tasks that are assigned to each user and the time that historically takes each user to execute those similar tasks. So now, um, when we go to create a project, of course, many professional services firms have highly customized type of projects, but there are some standardized type of projects that require um, automation or make sure that you're on every type of similar project, you're having like a similar task, right? So I'm going to create a test project, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to pick a client, and in 3 very simple steps, I'm going to create a project. As you can see here, um, give me one sec. As you can see here, the project is already created and assigned to specific users. This is another component of the time estimation and the artificial intelligence. As I go here to the platform selection, it takes Michael 4.5 hours, the estimated, right, based on the historical amount of time it has taken him to execute. I go to content creation. This gentleman takes 5 hours. I go to this copywriting task. It takes this gentleman 8 hours. If I see, for example, a budget task that is not here, I can come in and very easily create it. I can assign a deadline and I can assign resources. The colors are the productive capacity per resource in real time. So as we can see, April has -8, Belen has 71. So I want to tap into her for this specific task because she has the time on her calendar. And then this is not that groundbreaking. Of course, like a lot of PM solutions have this, but what is very groundbreaking is, it's very important for you to know even before your project starts if you're going to make money or not, because that is going to, um, make your team uh, clearly overworked, feel underpaid. The client is going to potentially, maybe the quality of the work is going to decrease, or a deadline is going to have to get pushed, or the client is going to get asked to pay more money. So you can directly influence this by reassigning tasks to less efficient, not efficient, less costly resources, right? Or just delete tasks altogether. And again, this is before the project starts. So you can proactively uh, take care of your profitability or your outputs even before the project starts. And then you can come in here to projects, and we're able to track. Of course, you can filter by a lot of stuff here, but you can track the performance of your project financially. So anything with the frowny face, red face means that, excuse me, that you lost money on this project. So if it's coming up, the deadline's coming up, you can proactively tap into it to see what can be done to turn the frowny face into a straight face, and ideally into a happy face. The happy face means, this is the ideal project that you want to have, because here you can templatize this project and say, all right, this is my North Star. And this is the project where my team is not overworked, where I'm making money, where I'm delivering the project in time, and that way you're reducing risk for your workflow and adding increased operational efficiency. Now, when we go to the Gantt chart, for example, oh, excuse me, before I go to the Gantt chart, I'm going to go to that project example, because there's another very cool, um, I'm going to find example. There's another very cool way to manage your projects, and that's via the project Gantt chart, right? So you could set dependencies on these projects, and if I go here and I look at these dates, let's say something needed to change, right? And then I needed to move all of these tasks because something changed, right? So then when I go back, I can notice that immediately my deadlines change. And dependencies are crucial in professional services. We want to make sure that the correct tasks are started and executed the right way so that there is not a loss of efficiency in the workflow. Um, and as you, I'm sorry, I forgot if I share this, but as you're assigning folks to specific projects, you can see the capacity in real time, and that's going to be helpful, very helpful, as you assign folks, the correct folks, to the correct projects. So now moving to the Gantt chart, of course, you can filter this out by team, by client, um, but also the very important use case here, two things. Let's say this team, this creative department, it's everything red. John has 30% available capacity in the next 2 weeks. April has -8. Mark has -260. So this tells you that you need immediately more people. You need to hire externally, or you need to hire internally, or see how you need to shift because you don't have capacity specifically for this team. Let's say that you want to look at your entire team, and let's say this Michael gentleman as an example. I can't assign him anything on Friday because he doesn't have capacity, but I can assign stuff for him on the following week. Let's say April, she doesn't have time available. So I kind of want to shift tasks in real time so that Michael gives April a hand. And as you can see, Michael's productive capacity, we're going to see his color change in a sec, changes from green to yellow. As I click through, now he doesn't have so much time available. And as I go to April, now she has some time available in her, in her week. So this way we can proactively manage capacity and make sure that nobody is overworked and our workflow is as efficient as it can be. The other big component that we're able, to marry when you're looking at project performance, um, you know, um, planning, budgeting, estimating future projects is coming in here and looking at deviations. So let's say for this specific task, you estimated initially that it was going to take you 4 hours. If it actually took you 13, the next project that comes around, you're going to estimate 14, 15, 16 hours so that you don't risk your team being overworked, the deadline having to get pushed with the client, or going in to the client at any point in time and say, hey guys, you're going to have to pay me a little bit more money because we underbid, we undershot, we underestimated this project. So again, it avoids all of these risks that are constantly a day in the life of professional services firms like you guys. Um, Now, we've seen projects, we've seen the Gantt chart. I have clients that have their individual contributors working off of projects, working off of the Gantt chart, but they don't necessarily need to do that. That's why here in tasks, it's very easy for folks to come in and work, let's say, myself on the urgent tasks that they have assigned. Or if I want to go to my tasks, I can see, all right, these are all the tasks that I have assigned for today. I collapse this week and the upcoming tasks. If I don't like a list view, I can come in and I can look at a Kanban view. Let's take this Adidas example. Let's move it to in progress and let's create a specific task. I'm going to create a blog post task test. I'm going to pick the Stars Ltd client and the pre-production project. There we go. I'm going to start the timer. As I track time, it immediately swaps to in progress. I can also come here and manually track time. But the time estimation, as long as I open the task, time estimation is going to kick in. If I close the task, time estimation is going to stop. If I say, let's say, for example, this blog post, the client rejects the content, not contest, the content, then a change request or a rework, we call that a change request or rework internally, is going to get logged as a message. And time is going to be estimated towards that change request. So I can put this task on hold. It immediately swaps to on hold. And that way, like I said, you don't necessarily need to leave the task view in order to have your PMs or your individual contributors working off of this. Now, the other component, once we dive deeper, I'm going to go into this Adidas specific task to give you guys an idea of the different ways that we can, um, allow individual contributors to work off of tasks. Um, you can create task types, you can create labels, you can segment the hours that you've progressed towards those task types, those labels, like what we saw there. But here you can manage, for example, your tasks via checklists. Let's say the planning task, the colors, this is what the colors mean. Let's say the planning task is not finished. Let's say it's in progress. So I'm going to unmark this checklist. Of course, I can um, you know test one, this is customizable for sure. And then let's say the planning task is completed. I mark it finished here, and I mark the checklist as done. I can also interact with, internal people, freelancers, even clients. I can share files. We integrate with Google Drive, OneDrive, and Dropbox. And I can even see a history of everything that has happened in this task. Again, I can create task types and labels and assign different things to different folks. As I look at the progress, this is the progress of the estimated hours versus the actual hours. And that helps teams make sure that they're, estimating tasks and projects correctly. As we go into the subtask, we can see that the UX UI doesn't change, but the messages, the files, the checklists, all of this changes. And you can, if you want to go, create a subtask for the subtask, you can do that. If you want to continue, down a rabbit hole, you can do that. You can assign it to different people. And again, here's the productive capacity in real time popping up. The other, excuse me, the other big component of COR, we saw deviations, we saw change requests. We're able to log change requests here, right? And look at and track those change requests so that when I look at the design code client, I can say, hey guys, we spent almost 9 additional hours. That's why we had to push the project. Or, hey guys, we spent almost 9 grand additionally here. You need to pay us that money. Let me ignore this. But helping having this proactively there, it's helping professional services folks like you that don't have enough visibility into your workflow to proactively tap into those components. The other component here that will be very, very helpful as you look at turning a reactive operation into proactiveness is coming in here, looking at fees, and looking at that estimated time. Let's say you say, all right, this client is a 600-hour client. This is our progress to the minute. These are the associated projects against that time, and make sure that you're proactively working against it and keeping the output efficient, right? The last thing that I want to talk through was client access. And before talking about client access, of course, like the per user components, like you go to employee info, decide how many hours per resource per user you want to work, and the hourly rate. That's how we can, you know, um, get the cost rate. And then when you go to that access, we have 6 different types of roles: C-level, director, PM, collaborator, freelancer, and client. Depending on the role, you can decide who gets access to what. Let's say this is a very senior PM, and I want them to have a little bit more access, where I can edit that. Or let's say a client, I want them seeing this, the freelancer seeing this. So it really depends on, what is it that you guys want to allow that client or that user to see. I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to put myself in the life of my Italian counterpart, the client access gentleman, Maurizio, and I'm going to show you guys what that person would see. As you can see, significantly less um, access. As we can go here, there's no settings option. As I go into the project, I can create tasks, for example. I can assign those tasks, assign a deadline and assign it to specific resources. But as you can see, I cannot delete that task. As I go to the task, I do not see history. I do not see hours. So again, it really depends on what you want your clients to see, but this is a clear example of the type of access that you can restrict um, depending on the type of access. So as you look at your projects, you can also like collapse this and see, all right, these are all of the tasks assigned. These are the subtasks to the actual task. These are all the people assigned, and this is the progress. Again, the progress is the hours. So if this budget evaluation task is finished, we're right in the money, 100%. We did it. If the platform review, though, is 143% of the way there and it's in progress, we have a problem. We clearly undershot or estimated incorrectly here. Folks, this is the high level overview of COR. If you guys have any questions, if you'd like to have another call with myself or with anybody in my team, please reach out. My email is Mauricio with a C at projectcore.com. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, have a great year, and hopefully we can work with you guys to help you guys turn your operation from reactive to proactive. Have a good one. Bye.